This is Bad Movies We Love, part of the Shice Podcast Network.
If you're listening to this, you are the resistance.
Hey, Bad Movie Lovers. Welcome to a new episode of Bad Movies We Love. As always, I am your host, Nick Scheist.
The master of the stupid stuff!
Speaking of stupid stuff, Kung Foolery Month continues here on the show, and if you're listening to this, you're not just part of the resistance, you're part of my tribe, too. And if you want to make that relationship official, you can do so at badmovieswelove.captivate.fm/support, and you can become an official card-carrying member of the resistance for just $5 a month, and you'll get access to Baimon Sci-Fi Con, Bad Movie Futures, Rom-Comathon, get access to the Discord chat, and you'll also get access to any future exclusive episodes that I put together. So you get a lot for your money, and that money doesn't just go into my pocket. It goes back into the show because that music that you hear during the clip reel before the actual episode starts, that's music that I license from a real working artist every single time for every episode. So you get to support creatives on multiple levels. And speaking of support on multiple levels, one of the best ways to help the show is to subscribe or follow and to leave a rating and a review where you can, whether that's Spotify, Good Pods, Pocket Casts, Apple Podcasts, wherever you can do it, it helps. I'm trying to push for more on Apple Podcasts because that actually helps in discoverability quite a bit. So if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, just maybe, I don't even think you have to hit pause. I think you can go straight to the show, leave a rating and a review while still listening to the sound of my voice. If you do that, thank you. Please do it safely, not while driving. And without further ado, we're going to move on to today's episode because I was joined by my friend, my first guest ever on the show, Donald Langley from You, Me, and a Movie. He's back, and this time we're wearing as we get into Sheldon Lettich's Capoeira film from 1993, It's Only the Strong.
I'd never heard of Capoeira before, never. And I was like, well, this is amazing.
It's still the only movie about Capoeira out there.
There's a couple cool little details it has with Bloodsport.
Come to my abandoned apartment building and watch me do handstands.
See my hose.
You gotta go sleeveless.
Silvio, where did you get that vest, man?
I would want to know, like, the logistics of running a chop shop.
What else goes on at these parties? Do they have, like, crazy sex parties?
He's gonna know that Stevens is a narc.
Why don't you let the kid go?
I just told you. This is family matters. None of your damn business.
First of all, I ain't a teacher. Second, I'm in a real shitty mood. And third, no law says I can't make it my business.
The shrimp Alfredo's only all right. Well, it's a sad sentence to lead in with, but at least you're full. You ate.
We had to make something quick, and it was fine. It was fine. Okay, we can't make beautiful, delicious Korean chicken every night, you know.
Well, I mean, I guess you could, but
my stomach would not like me too much after that.
Fair enough. Well, we're not talking about Korean food. Talking about Brazilian dance fighting. As we talk about Only the Strong. Donnie, welcome back to the show, man. It's good to have you back in a much shorter time frame this time.
Oh man, it's great to be here. Great to be back on. I love doing these episodes. They're so much fun to do. And the movies, that you bring me, or you ask me to watch, or that I choose to watch for this topic, this show is just so much fun. They're always fun. There's, I had my own podcast before, and sometimes just even if the movie's good, like, man, this movie's so serious. I have to do all this serious research for it. The movies, any movies that can be considered a bad movie that we love it's only going to be fun. So thanks for bringing it.
Yeah, no problem. You had mentioned it, or you put like a GIF or in one of like the chats or something, like maybe like 2 years ago, and I was like, "Oh, Donnie's seen this movie." I'm like, "All right, cool." And I was like, "Okay, well, let me just I'll put that aside for later." And then we circled back and ended up in like a martial arts month, and it was a good opportunity to do it. And I was like, "Let me see if Donnie actually still wants to do this." So unfortunately, you said yes, or else would have been scrambling to find a replacement. But I think it's a good fitting piece in that we started with Sidekicks, which is family fantasy, skews a little bit younger. This is, I think, for a little bit older than the target audience for Sidekicks. The one is maybe even for like slightly older than that, people who are like really maybe getting into kung fu films at that time. Like for me, it was like discovering sort of like Jet Li's American movies, and then we're gonna close it out with Kung Pao, which is for people who are like long time kung fu fans that are just like circling back to sort of like how goofy something like that can be. So I think we're going to get awesome. Like a pretty good coverage on this month. But this movie, like I was telling you before we hit record, I didn't remember necessarily all the plot beats. I kind of knew like, all right, troubled kids, teacher comes in, wants to teach them Capoeira as a way to keep them out of trouble and teach them discipline. And so like all those things are still true. And there's also this much more serious gang storyline than I remembered.
Right.
And a lot of cliches in this movie that really spoke a 90s language that if you didn't experience it, it's kind of hard to explain how heavy-handed some of these things are.
Yep. That is true. Yeah. And there were just tons of movies like this coming out in the late 80s, early 90s. As I told you, and this came out summer 93. So I was 11 years old. So it was about sixth grade, getting ready for junior high age, whatever. And I grew up watching Stallone and Schwarzenegger and Van Damme and Stallone, or I said Stallone, and then Seagal and all that. And there's this branch of movies like that, but a lot of those for like much older kids, or much older people. And then this movie comes out and it's PG-13. It does have that little bit of a serious storyline of a gang, but it's played with kids. It's with kids' hands or teenage boys' hands. So it just hit that sweet spot of, the killer soundtrack score, along with just cool fights. I'd never heard of Capoeira before, never. And I was like, well, this is amazing. And it's, as a kid, you're always trying to imitate the things you see on TV, especially fights and things like that. And this was just fun. Oh, another way I can break my neck as a kid.
Yeah. Do you have siblings? I don't know if I ever asked you.
I grew up with two older stepbrothers, and I have a sister who's 18 months older than me. But I have a younger half brother. He's like 7 years younger than me. But I grew up on a dead end dirt road in the country with a bunch of other kids. So we were kind of all every day out there.
Somebody's getting spin kicked in the face after you guys watch this movie.
Oh, dude. Yeah. We right outside and try to imitate what we just saw, not knowing what it was we just saw. Man, it was a blast.
I think I hadn't heard of Capoeira at the time that this movie came out either. And, we'd mentioned a little bit of trying to do serious research about like serious films. I tried to research this movie and I'm like, there's not a ton of information about it.
What?
It's
There's
just
the
it's
cool
a
stuff.
movie that exists.
Right. There's a couple cool little details it has with Bloodsport, I guess, like just handshakes with Bloodsport with the stunt quotation marks around choreographer.
Yeah. Or
And
lack
if you know
thereof.
anything, yeah, and if you know anything about the whole story behind Bloodsport and the guy it's based off of or whatever, it's a fun little read that, that's kind of got a little shares some DNA with some good kind of fun actors to kind of look back on what you remember them for. And, but as far as like directors and writers and cinematographers and editors and all that, it's not really much, to go down a rabbit hole with. They're all working people. You'll get into the people who actually worked on the film. The cinematographer. He's done a lot of things that people have heard of. A lot of these actors a few of the actors, I'm sure people will, hey, I remember that guy or that gal from this movie or that movie. So
it's fine. If you like martial arts, it's great. But
enough,
I mean, if that's not your cup of tea, you probably don't want to watch a 90-minute infomercial on the value of capoeira. I tried to put together trivia for this, and the trivia section is ass. Yeah, so I was like, okay, I just have to like skip over like actually organizing trivia. But since you mentioned the Bloodsport connection, Frank Dukes, who is the character that Jean-Claude Van Damme plays in Bloodsport, who is maybe a complete bullshit artist. So like that whole story that we see in Bloodsport that is told to us to be like based on a true story is probably not true at all. Anyway. And then Frank Dukes has a small role in this movie as the welder in the chop shop.
Such a cool scene, though.
It's a great scene. And
straight out of a horror video game, man. It's so awesome.
Yes, I'm watching it. I'm like, where did this come from? Like, this is such a different choice than the rest of the movie. I like it, but I'm confused as to like whose idea this was because it doesn't seem like the rest of the film. But yeah, Frank was, I guess, brought on to do some of like the creative martial arts consultation, and the director was not happy with it, which is maybe why we see some of the issues with some editing choices that are made.
Yeah, it's there.
With like, all right, we're going to do a lot of cartwheels, lots of cartwheels. All right. And we're going to do slow motion cartwheels too, because we need to pad out the runtime to get to 90 minutes. And
we're going to jump over a stick.
Yeah. It's not even a high stick. I'm not in good shape and I could jump over that stick. I could go cartwheel over that stick right now. But whatever. I mean, the kids look happy. They got to take a vacation to the beach, but before I get too long in the tooth on some of that silly stuff, this film was directed by Sheldon Lettich and also co-wrote it with Luis Esteban, who also has a small role in the film. I think is like one of the Brazilians or one of the gang members or something. But it stars Mark Dacascos, who, while we're on kind of the subject of connective tissue, Mark Dacascos' mom was in Sidekicks. She is performing at the Houston Karate Regional Tournament for the Evil Stone Dojo. So it's kind of cool that, it's just like passed down in his family that way. And
yeah, that's cool.
He's really good in it, but I would say the other main character is like Stacy Travis probably, and she's not really in it that much. You have Geoffrey Lewis playing the principal, or
love
I
Geoffrey
think he's
Lewis.
the principal by the time that we get to this movie. He can't just be still the social studies teacher.
I know he deserves so much more. You're right. Maybe he should be.
And then Paco Christian Prieto is Silverio, so he's like the primary villain, right? And then you kind of have like a bunch of kind of faceless kids. Like, I don't mean to be rude to them, but like only one of them really gets a story.
And I like it. I like him a lot. I think he nailed his role. If you're talking about Richard Coca or
Yeah, and he's the
as
nephew
Orlando.
of Silverio in this movie.
I think he nails it, man. I think he's awesome, and
he is.
his uh different his lines are like some of the things I remember the most. When I was telling you, like, yeah, I remember all this when I was rewatching it the other night, and I hadn't seen it since the '90s, or whatever. A lot of his stuff was what I remembered. Just his acting in it. I thought he was great. So he stepped up to the plate.
He does kind of have the main story because he's the only character with like a real arc, because he starts as like the troubled bad guy gang member amongst like he's the worst of the worst when it comes to the kids, right? He's got a knife. He's got a crazy mullet. He's dressed in all black. It's a hell of a mullet. But yeah, he goes from like that and then like gradually begins to learn the value of dance fighting with your friends, and he begins to come around and realize that maybe the gang banging life is not for him, and working for his cousin is not the way forward. But every other character in the movie is pretty much just like a straight line.
Right. Yeah.
And like, that's okay. Like sometimes that's all you need. But this character, Orlando, he is like the sort of the heart of the movie, but also like the main plot point. And you get Mark Dacascos playing Louis Stevens, or you know, the villain calls him Santo a bunch. He's like, "Oh, you're such a saint, I guess, for trying to take care of the kids." So just teases him by calling him Santo. Like all the fighting is kind of just to protect this kid, or they're fighting over the kid's future a little bit. But it doesn't necessarily remove all of the agency from Orlando's character either. Like he has to make some decisions for himself. And yeah, like you said, he is really good. It might be the best performance in the movie, because it's really the only one that's like really asking a lot. But I mean, before we get on, like if you remove him from the equation, like, do you have a favorite one of the kids that isn't him?
Well, I mean, there's Donovan's the music genius, so I got to go with Donovan.
Donovan had his remix.
Yeah, what's the character's name? Who I thought was going to be the Orlando character. He has the Jamaican brother drug dealer from the beginning. What's that character's name?
Is that Shay?
Shay or
is Shay the bad guy?
I don't see. I don't remember that.
No, I think thought Eddie was the bad guy.
I don't even remember
exactly.
But I thought he
just
did a good
watched
job.
this movie too, and I'm like, I don't even remember. That's what I mean. Like all the kids are kind of like
you're right,
faceless, and although that kid does a good job of being like the first one to maybe get taken under Steven's wing and like really believe in the idea of learning this new thing, he then just goes right back to being a background character as soon as Orlando's story takes over. So it's a little strange in that way, but I really do love Paco as Silverio. He's got a great look as a villain. Yeah. He's got a very like menacing, calm confidence to him as a villain. And I think the thing that I probably detached from this movie was, like you said, how much it's cut from the cloth of those other 80s movies that came before it. Like all those action stars that were like making really adult action films where a lot of people are getting killed. It has these big sort of action set pieces to it. Like when they get to the chop shop and the welder comes out, and like that whole scene in the chop shop, I'm like, okay, all of a sudden this shifted gears and now it exists within the realm of these like Jean-Claude Arnold, Seagal, Wesley Snipes type of movies.
Right.
And I didn't remember that because it was like the younger version of myself, like had sort of compartmentalized the thing that I liked about the story, which was, oh yeah, you know, they're having fun and they're doing the Dangerous Minds thing and like getting out of trouble. And I didn't even remember that this came before Dangerous Minds.
Yeah. And I was confused to see that too. I thought for sure this would have come after. I mean, there's tons. That's a whole other like a genre of taking like some adult comes and puts these bad kids together and gets something good out of them. You know, I remember Bad News Bears. You said Dangerous Minds. And so Dangerous Minds, Only the Strong, and The Substitute all deal with an ex-military person coming back to be some kind of teacher or figure. All three of those
kids need fucking discipline.
yeah. And then hardball with Keanu, you know, the bad kids in the baseball.
Yeah.
Like there's 2 baseball, but there's tons more. I was thinking
I
about.
mean, you can extend it to like Mighty Ducks, 187 with Sam Jackson, which is like a very dark take on the idea.
Yes,
but I like that movie, so that's a whole different conversation. But yeah, this like sort of weird subgenre of like the kids from the 90s are like getting progressively worse, and we severely need somebody to discipline them. But like, how does that discipline look? Do we discipline them with like an attractive blonde woman who teaches them poetry and we like appeal to that side of them? Do we bring in a Mark Dacascos type who he doesn't tell you to turn the music down, he says turn it up and let's dance?
Best line in the movie.
You know, do you go with like Tom Berenger, who's like very serious and maybe a little like intense and sweaty and like kind of drill sergeant? You know, do you go Sam Jackson, who's just like fed up and at his breaking point? So you have like a lot of that going on during like that decade, and it's kind of interesting to look back and see that, because I don't think ever as a kid growing up in that era ever felt like it was really trying to be message heavy about that. But now it's like it's very clear with enough distance that I'm like, oh, like all these movies are kind of dabbling in the same thing. And I maybe didn't realize it until I got older that they went back to the well quite a bit. And I think if we really like sat down and made a list, there would be probably a lot more of these movies we could make.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was trying to think of even more than those other. I was like, well, those are the main ones. We'll stop there, because I'm sure that's a whole another rabbit hole. I'm sure that's they probably have an outline of a script with that as in that genre, and they just plug in different pieces to make a new movie, or used to back when they did stuff like that. But,
yeah, one of my favorites, I think, is Sunset Park with Rita Perlman. She's like a history teacher, and she's about to get fired or something, but then it's like she's in the hood or something, and the kids on the basketball team need a coach, and she's like, well, I'm not like a coach, but like I know how to like teach. And so she just like takes over being their basketball coach. I like it. For the, I mean, I like this genre, I guess. So any of these movies I'll probably like, but she's really good in it. And like, you see a lot of familiar young faces amongst the
Sunset
basketball
Park,
team.
you said.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, that song from It's Sunset Park. What time is it? It's time to get alive. It's time to represent. Oh yeah, Sunset Park was always.
Speaking of music, man.
Yeah, this song movie is a very soundtrack centric film.
Man, yeah, that banana wave. I've had that song in my head. It's come up many times in my life since this movie came up. You know, I always think about this. Anytime I see a capoeira fighter in, say, a video game or another movie, or someone's just using the style, immediately I start singing that song or humming that song in my head. Like, it's, I don't know, this movie did it. And I think this had that, what's that song it was on the Mazda commercials?
Oh yeah, the Zoom Zoom.
Zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah, that, I think that was in this first, if I remember right.
It was, and then later when Mazda switched their like campaign to Zoom Zoom, which is why I own a Mazda to this day. Hey, I bought a Mazda in 2018, way after that campaign ended, but the Zoom Zoom campaign like hooked me a long time ago.
Gotcha.
And it was like, whenever I get my chance, I'm gonna get me a Mazda. And I still say it. I'm still like, oh yeah, Zoom Zoom. And I don't think most people know what I'm talking about.
They used to, there's some of the commercials they would whisper it. Zoom Zoom. I remember that.
Yeah. So I think the musical presence in the film, it's key to the identity of the dance. And at least for the most part, for a movie that is doing what this movie is doing, incorporating martial arts, it's doing it in a way that I think is probably about as authentic and earnest as you could, where not every movie that is a bad martial arts film really honors the martial arts side of things. And so this is a movie that I don't think ultimately falls into martial arts exploitation, which is a list that I need to probably work on a little bit harder. But I feel like I like the term and I'm going to stick with it. I just need to do a little bit more homework because there's definitely ones out there that are like it. But this movie, like, it's literally trying to introduce a whole bunch of people to a fighting style that they know nothing about. It's still the only movie about capoeira out there.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why, man. It's fun.
It is a lot of fun.
This needs a sequel. That's what it needs. A whole sequel.
Is Mark Dacascos still working? Does he want to get involved?
Yeah. So it's things like that in movies. I think I always remember more fondly because it gets me. Even as a kid, I loved learning something new that was totally different from anything I've seen, and then going and researching it. And anything like a new martial arts or anything concerning Native Americans, where I grew up with lots of Native Americans in South Carolina. But so anything like this movie, I definitely went and started. What is capoeira? It's a movie that taught me something. So thinking it's Afro-Brazilian. So it apparently started from African slaves in Brazil. And the only reason it has the dancing in it is they use that to disguise that they were learning martial arts. So I thought that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's a very cool like piece of history to investigate. And I think maybe even a movie that dived deeper into the roots of it from like the 16th century would be like you could make like a good serious sort of film about that. And like this film sort of bobs and weaves when it comes to whether or not it's being serious, right? Like I see some of the costume choices and I'm like, I don't know how serious this movie is. Like,
oh man, that vest, the bedazzled vest on Silvio.
Yeah.
Oh, that thing was awesome. I want that.
He's playing basketball in like leather boots. I'm like, what are these guys doing out here? But he wants to look good. I get it. We
pretty sure it's the costume designer that did Sex and the City and Devil Wears Prada movie. I think it's the same costume designer, if I remember right.
Wow. I mean, I didn't do that much homework, but I'll take your word for it. It makes it more intriguing that way. But we get things like, we have the kid with like not quite the ghetto blaster, but like the kid who has to carry the boom box, right?
Yep.
All the kids are basically very easily lumped into like a stereotype category. But I think maybe my favorite thing about how hard they're trying to communicate that the kids are bad is that they show up on a bus and they're like, these kids are so bad that even the bus is covered in graffiti. This school can't even just like have a bus. So they're trying to tell us like so hard that like shit is really bad at this school.
Oh, the bars in the stairwell.
Right. Because people were jumping or throwing each other down the stairwell. I think that's like a good tidbit because you have Steven's character coming back to the school and like wanting to be a teacher, but he's seeing all the changes in the school and wanting to sort of pay it forward. And I think his relationship with the principal doesn't get maybe fleshed out well enough to really drive that point home. But you then add on Stacy Travis's character of Diana, who's also went to that school as a kid, who also knows Stevens and can vouch for him and what he went through and being turned around. So it's like we get that plot through line with him trying to, use the thing that he learned in order to like help these kids out of a bad situation. And so I think ultimately like the film has a good heart in that way. Yeah. But it also engages in some action fodder that I wouldn't have pegged with this movie like at a glance. And even though I've seen it, still I didn't really remember all of that. Like there's a machete fight at the end, which it's cool, but then it's like, oh, now it's not a machete fight anymore. You know, I love that he puts his fatigues back on at the end when he's like, it's time to fuck shit up.
Hides in the tree.
Yeah.
that scene got me. It's like the pan down the camera is cool looking shot of these guys, just the two bad guys just walking down the street because they're out looking for him, and then it just he's there in the tree standing on the limb. It's like, what are we? Are we Rambo now?
Yeah.
Which
these guys in the city ain't
Rambo
never
3.
seen the effectiveness of camouflage before. So yeah, like it's just crazy that kind of energy gets infused into this movie, but you can tell that Sheldon Lettich made the movie with those intentions. And I watched it on YouTube because it's free on YouTube for anybody that's curious. There is like a really sharp edit at one point in the movie, and I'm like, did they cut out a sex scene to get this down to a PG-13 rating? It's when Diana is with him at the abandoned firehouse that is now also his apartment and also the training facility for the kids. And he's like betting her that she can't do a handstand or something. Yeah. And then he catches her and just like lays her down into a back bridge. And then he says something. And then all of a sudden, there's like a super hard cut to them elsewhere. And I was like, I was like, that feels like it ended unnaturally. So I wouldn't be surprised that maybe, you know, they fooled around or something in that scene, but whatever. We move on from that.
I like Stacy Travis, man. She I thought they played well together. I'm glad it's not in there, but I wouldn't mind to see them in a movie together, or just them two as the characters if they would have more scenes together. I liked her in Earth Girls Are Easy back in the late 80s. I thought she was awesome. And then of course she was in Phantasm 2, which I liked a lot as a kid. And actually they have a connection to Richard Stanley. If you're a fan of, she was in Hardware and he was in Island of Dr. Moreau.
Oh, that's right. He was that cheetah that gets killed.
Yeah. Richard Stanley. We love you, man.
Yeah, it's a movie that I've done here on the show back in season 1, I think. Yeah.
And her and then Geoffrey Lewis. If you've seen any movie in the 70s and early 80s, where you've seen Geoffrey Lewis, because he was in tons of stuff. Just good. He's a great character actor. And he's good in this. Like, he kind of takes a back seat, even though he's probably the more seasoned of all the actors.
Yeah.
But him in Salem's Lot, man, dude, he was freaky in Salem's Lot. There's like awesome scene with his eyes glowing in the dark. It's just always in my head when I was a kid. It's great.
Yeah, it feels like
and Lawnmower Man. Forgot.
Oh yeah, Lawnmower Man. It's another good one.
Lawnmower Man. Yeah, I think that was the first thing I ever saw him in. Which that movie's been coming up a lot recently. Didn't we mention it the other day? We
did. I grew up watching that movie. I had the Nintendo game as well.
Yeah.
So
I watched, and then yesterday I was just flipping through YouTube, and I don't know if you know the band Glassjaw. It was like a recent live show of Glassjaw. This lead singer, Daryl Palumbo, is wearing a shirt with a scene from the movie in it, one of the bad computer graphic scenes.
Wow.
So that movie, that's weird. It must tell me I need to rewatch it.
Coming around. That's definitely like bad movies we love territory. But it did pop up all of a sudden within the last like month or two. I saw a couple people talking about it. So
awesome.
Maybe it's just because, like, you know, Pierce Brosnan is working again, and people are like, hey, remember when he made this awesome horrible movie? So yes, awesome, I do.
Horrible movie.
Yeah, that's this show in a nutshell. Awesome horrible movies. But let me get to the tail of the tape before I forget. So this movie clocks in with an IMDb score of 6.5,
which is really good.
That's solid. It has
this kind of movie.
A Rotten Tomatoes critic score of 13%. So really terrible in the other direction. Audience score though of 77%. So kind of in line.
Huge difference. That is wild to me. I've looked at that today the first time. And I've been trying to think of other movies with that wide of a gap. That is a huge gap.
This has got to be one of the contenders for like biggest difference between critical score and
I'd imagine so, man. That is wild. And that is just, man, like, and then reading some of them, like, Ebert, the way things he says about, I'm like, come on, man. It's like, what did you think when you watched this movie? What did you think it was gonna?
He got disappointed, but it has a letterbox score of 3.1 also, which is higher than I thought it would be.
Same.
So if not for the Rotten Tomatoes critic score, this probably wouldn't even be on the show. But fortunately, the critics submarined it so much.
Thank you, critics.
That it brought down the overall score to a 54.25 out of 100 for the Bad Movies We Love total score. So that's not terrible. It's right in that sweet spot of stuff that I think is kind of like what the show is built on. Movies that critics really hated, but people loved, and like trying to thread the needle on what the difference is there. So I think it's a good pick. I don't know if like you picked it or I picked it or it just happened, but we're here nonetheless. So give me one.
And I was surprised by the higher scores from people, like the Letterboxd and the IMDb and the audience scores. I thought people would be a little more harsher on there would be some like us that, you know, like even me, I love this movie. It's not great. Like there are problems with, you know, you mentioned cliches and some questionable editing, the fight scenes compared to what we're used to now. And you know, choreography, you know, even back then there was a million times better movies with great choreography, but I was surprised that many, it was that high from people. And I never hear anyone talk about this movie ever.
Well, they're going to be talking about it now because we're going to force it back into their minds.
Yeah, go watch this movie, people. Go watch it. It's a good time.
It is a good time. I still enjoyed it.
Good.
It's kind of like an easy watch because the pacing is pretty deliberate. I mean, granted, a lot of that is because like a lot of the movie, as we said earlier, is cartwheels. So they just use like cartwheels as like B-roll to get to the next scene. And by the time that like the final act happens in the movie, it's like the last 40 minutes and it's kind of like a sprint at that point. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this really is built like an 80s action film. And it just happens to have this completely other, more PG, more family friendly storyline built into it in order to like aim it at that audience. So
with a cool ass boss fight.
It just exists like in a weird limbo between being like of the sidekicks variety and being of the commando variety. It's like it's a very fine line where there's maybe not enough other movies that exist in that bubble to where there's enough awareness about it. Because it's like, if you like the action stuff, there was plenty of that already to watch. And if you were a kid growing up with the martial arts stuff, like there was enough of that to watch where you did like Three Ninjas and stuff existed. So you maybe weren't watching this kind of movie. So yeah, it's an anomaly in that way, but I think maybe that's why the scores are as high as they are, given the fact that it has some like very notable issues that maybe haven't aged so well.
I think you said something earlier about it. It has heart in it. And people do gravitate towards that. You know, whether they trying to sound cool and don't admit to it or whatever. If a film has heart and everyone that's making it believes in it and it shows, you're going to gravitate towards it no matter what. So you probably hit it on the head there.
The intent is earnest, right? So, I mean, that goes a long way, I think, with building some goodwill with the audience. But since we're talking about this movie kind of like not existing within a pre-existing sphere, let me set the table here for people. I mean, look, we're 30 minutes in. If you're off the tracks already, then don't worry about it. But this is a movie, like I said, that exists, right? It was very difficult to find like production notes on this. It was very difficult to pull trivia. But it is the first and only movie where Capoeira is like the front foot. Director Sheldon Lettich went on to give an interesting explanation on sort of the movie's performance, and that Dacascos was unable to promote the film because his manager had signed him onto Double Dragon, which one of the early video game adaptations, which by the way, I fucking love that movie. It's so bad. But Robert Patrick as the villain is great. And it's like this movie should not exist. But okay, you guys made it. That's awesome. Fine. But that project like was chaotic. It was over budget. It was way behind schedule. And because it was behind schedule, Mark was stuck filming. And so he was not able to participate in a big promotional tour for Only the Strong, which would theoretically have helped it. But the movie tested really well with test audiences. And I saw that it was like a 98%. Wow. People either like liked it or loved it from test audiences. So like we said, like the audience reception is really, really good. But how do you promote a movie like this when you're not one of those big action stars? Like you don't have a Chuck Norris or somebody attached to this. So you really probably needed the promo. And then the tour eventually got canceled because of Double Dragon running so long in production hell. So Lettich was like, yeah, maybe had we had that, we would have done a little bit better. And the movie went on to earn a little over $3 million against its $6 million budget. So ended up losing money, but then became, I think, a staple of like the Saturday afternoon.
Right.
Yes. TNT FX kind of circuit where it's not quite like the tough guy movies that come on later. Like Roadhouse was like that movie that Roadhouse starts at 5. But like in the 1 o'clock window, we're going to have Only the Strong. So that's the kind of movie that this is. It's definitely cut from the same cloth as a lot of those action films, but done so in a very different way.
Yeah, I think that's a great story because, and I definitely think because what I saw of it, they had like, man, the producers and everything saw that the audience score was so great and everyone was loving it. They completely back like they said 12 13 14 city tour to promote it, and I think that definitely would have helped it. I mean, put more money into trailers, like, and just, I don't remember the first time I watched it. I don't think I saw it in theaters. I'm pretty sure it was a rental from the video store when it came, if I remember right. But yeah, I think definitely that they would have got to promote it. And I think Dacascos is awesome. I think he could have been a fun, maybe he came in a little too late. I think that if he would have been same time around as like Van Damme and Stallone and Schwarzenegger and all that in the mid to late 80s, maybe, or maybe it's just a whole agent thing, didn't get the good stuff. But he's great as a leading man. He's good looking. He's fast as shit, doing all these cool stunts, maybe with a good stunt director and everything. He could have been like an action star. We didn't have enough.
Yeah, I read an interesting thing about his casting in this, in that he had no experience with capoeira at the time that he got cast, awesome. But he's just like a good natural martial artist, and so the coach that they brought in was able to get him up to par enough to make it look good on screen. And like early in the movie, I'm like, he's using a lot of Taekwondo right now, but whatever, I'll give him some grace. And then like as the movie goes on, whether or not like his portrayal of it is 100% authentic, we do see it used a little bit more when he's like doing the boss fights, right? Because there's like the first boss fight where it's not really a fight, like he shows up and just gets his ass kicked. Then there's like the mid boss fight kind of, and then there's like the boss fight, right? And so we get to see between the two of them a lot of cool instances of the technique. And honestly, even in the beginning of the film, when he's sort of observing it, when he's stationed in Brazil and you see those guys doing it, they do a really good job of, I think, showcasing it for the camera. And just if you're going to make a movie about capoeira, like, let's start with showing it like at its roots, and let's show the athleticism and dexterity and flexibility that's involved in this martial art that most people probably don't know about. And that makes me think about that press tour, because say you had that group of performers with you.
Yeah.
And you just set up like a big sort of training mat and you invite the press out, and then you have Dacascos do a little sparring or whatever and then answer questions. But you have the rest of the troupe still perform so that like you make a
Demo
big
that,
spectacle out of it. And you maybe would have been able to drum up a little bit more word of
That's a
mouth.
great point, because that works. Look at Tony Jaa.
Yeah.
That's what they did with Ong Bak, all his other Protector, those movies. He went and did demos, and you can see them all over YouTube of him doing demos at premieres of the movie or just showings of the film, like him doing demos running on guys' shoulders. Like you've probably seen them. I that's a good point. I definitely that would have worked. And apparently the Dacascos, both his parents were martial artists who invented their own martial arts style.
Wow.
So that tells you why he's just got a good pedigree. So,
absolutely.
Dang, what could have been.
But I remember also during the heyday of, and this is 93 too. So I'm trying to think, it's probably 93, 94, where the WWF was doing their tour with Yokozuna and Lex Luger. And they had the big stage thing on the aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
And I think it was in San Diego. And Lex Luger slams Yokozuna. So it's like, there was like just the appetite for like kind of spectacle style performances in public at that time to promote things. So it might have just been the right time to do something like that for this movie, because, you know, that went like it worked for the WWE. I wouldn't be surprised to see it work in a similar vein for something like this. Yeah, what could have been, but this is a movie.
As a 11-year-old me would have freaking loved that. Like to be able to see that in person, to see that kind of fighting and stuff,
right?
that would have been amazing.
Capoeira team's coming to your town.
Yeah.
Come on down to the convention center, or like the Fallbrooks Mall. We're gonna have it set up. I mean, whatever.
The Magnolia Mall.
Yeah, go to the mall and see it. It's fine. I think that would have been a cool way to do it, but alas, doesn't happen. Movie goes on to not recoup its budget, but this is a movie that exists in a cool little bubble. Also in that it's one of these movies that I feel like would never get talked about for being in the remake conversation. But because you brought up Tony Jaa, I was thinking about it when I watched the movie. It's like Tony Jaa would be a very interesting addition to like the Mark Dacascos role in this. Like, forget Capoeira. Sorry, I mean, like, not literally forget it. No offense to this movie, but bring in Tony Jaa, turn it into like Muay Thai, and then bring that sort of like physical intensity to the action of this movie. Like the way that the fight transpires, the final boss fight, the chop chop fight, like bring Tony Jaa's intensity and violence to those scenes and make it for now the adults who grew up with Only the Strong and are like have a much better appreciation and appetite for that kind of action. And I think you could do it. I think it would. I mean, I would watch it.
Well, the kid would have like the bad kids, and they're all the ones that like. What would they be doing now?
They're learning Muay Thai this time.
Well, instead of like them being hanging around outside with boom boxes, smoking dope. Like,
this time they're vaping.
They're vaping and playing Pokemon or something in the courtyard.
Yeah, too much Pokemon and vape, you guys.
Yeah, and I love, man. That's a whole another can of worms. Just how disappointing Tony Jaa's career is. You know, and people have all these reasons of why all that happened and stuff. But one of the things a lot of people say is because his at first refusal to master the English language. Which to me is I don't care. It's he could always just play the quiet, demeaning lead. I could watch that all day, but that's not what Hollywood wants. Where Dacascos, man, he's smooth. Dude, he was a cool dude. He could have had a lot more roles. I love Tony Jaa, man. It makes me so sad thinking about the kind of films we could have got out of him. I mean, he's still making movies. He made one last year. It has a weird frame rate. It hurts your eye. I don't even know what's going on. I forget the name of it now, but I think he tries to talk English in it a lot, and supposedly it's not very good. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a bummer. He's such a great physical screen presence.
Yeah, man.
His elite stuff where he's the star is just so much fun to watch.
The Protector, man.
Yeah.
So good. Ooh.
Yeah, and that's like he captivates like a lot of emotional essence in that film as well, which combined with it being like as intense of a fighting film as it is, it's a great balance. So yeah, I mean, if you like this kind of stuff, definitely check out Tony Jaa's work if you haven't.
Yeah, definitely.
I know I didn't ask you. I prepared late, but did you write a synopsis haiku for this?
I did.
You did? Oh, sweet. Look at
I
that.
definitely did.
Look at that.
That's why I wanted to make sure it was for bad movies.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I wanted to make sure, like, before I before I did that. But I did, just for you.
Sweet. All right. Well, I think you went first last time I sprung it on you, so I'll do the honors this time, and then I'll let you take the reins. Okay. The youth is in deep. Stevens brings honor to them. Friendship, trust, fight, dance.
Oh, friendship and trust. That's the heart of it. Yeah, I think anyone writes a haiku on this movie is going to have something about dance and fight, because mine is dancing and fighting. Can you turn that music up? Sweatpants, roundhouses.
I like that.
It's like, wait a minute. My favorite line in the movie does it. Oh, it works. Thank goodness. It has to go in there. Can you turn? Man, that line and the way he delivers it, that pause before up is, as kids, we were saying that a lot after and I think a lot of kids didn't know that I got it from this movie. It's probably in other movies too, but I always remembered it from this movie. Can you turn that music up? Because even before that,
he's a cool teacher.
Yeah. I think he said it right, and then the kid was like, what'd you say? Or something. He said, I said. I love it. So cheesy too, though, but in the best way possible, though.
Yeah, it works. It works in the context of what this film wants to do. But let's go now, and we'll take a look back at that trailer, and we'll see how this was marketed, at least to movie-going audiences.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Definitely wasn't marketed on tour. When school lets out and kids are left unattended, that's when they can get into trouble. That's why this trailer rewind is brought to you by Ginga, the home game, from the team behind Only the Strong. So get ready to spin kick boredom in the face and stay out of trouble in the process. Spin the berimbau, test your timing with a rhythm challenge card, and dance fight your way to the finish line without knocking over your mom's favorite lamp. Packed with flips, kicks, rhythm duels, and more, you'll learn all the capoeira basics. So ginga, fight with flair, capoeira in your living room if you dare. Because the one who controls the rhythm controls the room. Rhythm not included. And now, back to the show. Okay, let's see. Where's full screen?
I see it.
There we go. Turn that down a little bit.
Blast Banana away.
We'll hear it.
Charles Darwin's theory, natural selection, a general description.
Oh, he is a teacher.
About a naturally selected walk.
Yeah,
not the principal.
The kids of Lincoln High had no discipline.
You must think I'm playing punk.
No
Todd
respect.
Sussman.
Teach him a lesson, man.
No one to look up to.
You had a job you were supposed to do last night.
Until one of their own was crazy enough to take them on.
Mr. Lewis
Crazy.
Stevens, former graduate of Lincoln High.
Oh, he must be a loser then. Okay, let's get started. Drop the bags, drop your skateboard, drop your pants.
He's taking the kids everyone has given
Drop
up
those pants and put on some sweatpants.
and giving them something to believe in.
You! I want you to turn that music up. I said
Yes!
turn it up!
Yes.
I like that. The capoeira, everything starts out with the ginga.
The ginga.
It's the basis for moves like this.
Lots of flips.
Yeah, lots of flips.
You ready to
Oh
try
man,
this
that's
yet?
cool.
He's earning something no one knew they had. Respect.
You have a name? Donovan. See you tomorrow, Donovan. Okay. If we don't start trusting them, why should they start trusting us? This world can be about as big as you ever want it to be, showing you some choices.
These kids ain't never seen the beach before. Oh, see, look, there. Yeah, that whole thing I think was cut out of what I saw.
Oh, then. Okay, I don't remember the cut.
I'm not your slave.
Changing
it was going to show his vest.
Worst kids at Lincoln, the absolute bottom of the heap. Look at what he's done with them.
and changing their world.
You did something none of us professionals been able to do. You got their attention.
Only the strong.
You're that guy from Lincoln High School.
Yes, sir. And these are my kids.
They're taking the challenge of their lives and turning it into the triumph of a lifetime.
They lift him up like Rocky at the end.
Heck yeah. It's a good trailer.
Yeah.
Did a good job.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it feels like the movie actually is. That's a good one.
They
didn't show his vest.
They didn't. I know. I see this out of the corner of my eye on the comments for the trailer here.
Mm-hmm.
It says, this film taught me that all problems in my life can be solved with capoeira. Good lesson.
That's a good lesson.
I think even in the trailer, though, we see like how much of that is someone's flipping, someone's doing slow motion, someone's spin kicking, which again, it all looks really cool. So I don't begrudge them wanting to showcase sort of like the poetry in motion that they're using there. But I also am thinking, when you spin kick somebody in the head, you're generating like a ton of force. If you landed that in a fight, you'd probably be like done with the fight at that point. And then the final boss fight comes, and I was like, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm like, this guy is still conscious. He's taken 8 consecutive spinning roundhouse kicks to the face. And then he hits him with the Psycho Crusher at the end.
It's
I'm
awesome.
just gonna horizontal tumble on you. It works. It works.
It's how it looks. It looks great. It's I've never gotten into like the martial arts style real fighting because I grew up watching the movies, and the real fighting does not look like it does in the movies.
No, it doesn't.
So like I could never, it was always a letdown, especially when like UFC started getting real big and MMA. It was a lot of grappling and stuff. I was like, I don't want to see this. I want to see. So I did kind of get into Muay Thai for a while, like watching like live Muay Thai stuff. But even then, it ain't like Tony Jaa. So like, it's got to be different in the movies. And I like that about martial arts style movies. I want to see things that I'm not going to see in a real ring. And this movie does that.
Yeah. The fight does go to the ground briefly, and then they start singing the song. Paranaway, Paranaway, Parana. And he's like, oh, fuck. He's getting juiced up like Hulk Hogan, where just, ooh, like, you're not going to stop me, brother. He like rips the guy's hands off, somehow generates enough force from the ground to like backhand this guy into a flip. So once they're in the dirt in that final fight, there's a lot of flipping, a lot of dirt tossing, a lot of missed spin kicks. That's when the machetes come out, and that's when Silverio's taking things very, very seriously. They're trying to end this for real. Like they have the pit, they got the guys with the guns. It looks like it's gonna be, I mean, we know as the audience is not gonna be a loss for our guy, but it's not a great situation for him to walk into there. But yeah, that sequence sort of where he rallies at the end, and we see a lot of really great techniques displayed for the camera there. And I mean, the dexterity it takes to do some of the stuff that they do. I mean, a lot of it, if you watch gymnastics, you're using centrifugal force to build momentum so that you could back handspring into a flip rather than like just straight flipping off the ground. You're not going to get the same kind of height. You're not going to get the same kind of arch or anything. So it understands how the body can use its own natural energy to create like these big techniques. And that one that finishes the fight,
Yeah, he's spinning. For people who like aren't watching this, like he's spinning horizontally,
Yeah,
like corkscrewing horizontally as his feet, I guess, hit the guy in the face another like 7 or 8 times.
It's so cool.
It
Definitely
is
haven't
really
seen it
cool.
before.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen it since.
Yeah, and that's a big deal for me in any martial arts movie. Like if you show me something, like there's multiple fights in the movie, in these kind of movies. If you show me something I haven't seen before in each fight, then I'm going to enjoy your movie. Like if it's a, if you're making a martial art film specifically for martial art fans. And that's kind of why I like the genre, because a lot of the filmmakers try to do something different, even going through these John Wick movies, which just can't, Dacascos was in the third one, Parabellum, but and he's really good in it. But they tried to do something different every time, or they hope to try and do that. So that that's what I'm usually looking for in these movies. And there's tons of that. And there's things in this movie that I still haven't, you can't see in movies today. Like maybe, I don't know if that's I don't know who that is, to attribute to. We talked about Frank Dukes, and you mentioned the director said it was he kind of dropped the ball on his choreography, but on the IMDb page, he's not listed as the stunt coordinator. He's just listed, he's a stunt man, or he does stunts. So I don't know who's telling what, but.
Well, based on what I've heard about Dukes, I'll probably trust the director on this one.
I think you're right.
Like, hey, yeah, we want to like recreate some of the stuff from Bloodsport. I can totally do that if you hire me to do it. And then it's like, man, this guy sucks. Well, I mean, because he's the welder, right? So he's the guy in the suit with the mask, so you don't even see his face. So you can be in the movie, but we're gonna hide you.
That was a great scene stuff, because it and these movies do that a lot, where because usually in these martial arts films, the lead martial artist is kind of a smaller guy because he's faster. Think of Bruce Lee. He's always faster, but he's smaller. There's always going to be one of the bad guys who's real hulking big and slow and plotting, but he's got something really dangerous in his hands. And I love that. You mentioned there's a lot of cliches in it, but I like that cliche. But yeah, Bloodsport, there's a lot of fighting in Bloodsport that's kind of slower and more strength based. Like, if I remember correctly, I haven't seen Bloodsport in a long time. I need to, because I love that movie so much as a kid. But this movie's it's faster. There's more acrobatic stuff in it. So maybe Frank Duke's just not good at that kind of choreography.
And there is one guy in Bloodsport who his Capoeira is his fighting style, but I don't even know if he makes it out of the first round. He does the ginga and then gets like uppercutted in the face. And he maybe makes it to the second round of the kumite, but I watched Bloodsport not that long ago, but I wasn't like tracking which fighting styles got eliminated early.
I gotta make Michelle watch that movie. She enjoyed this. She liked it. She wasn't all in it like I was and everything, but she enjoyed it as a movie and just a time killer and everything.
Yeah, well, when I was talking to Michelle about this when we were doing Sidekicks, and I was just like telling her what was coming up, and I was kind of like, she had never seen Karate Kid either, so I was trying to explain to her. I don't think
Marshall has either.
So I was trying to explain. I was like, Karate Kid is not like Sidekicks. I was like, I understand why like the comparisons are made, but they're kind of like more superficial than structural. And so I told her about this too, and I was like, if you like feel good like martial arts movies, I think this is like one that you would probably enjoy. It's like, dance fighting. It's Dangerous Minds, but with Capoeira instead of Dylan Thomas. So
I did love Sidekicks, by the way. I haven't mentioned that. That was another movie that I had recorded on VHS and watched over and over and over again. That was another one.
I know. For the people that listened to the Sidekicks episode, when I said Donnie had a VHS, this is the guy I was talking about. But for, we're kind of like scheduled a little long here in that usually I do this way earlier in the show, but for the 13% of those the critics that gave it the 13% overall, like, why would you envision someone saying that this is a bad movie when we do see that for the most part, like, audiences actually really like this movie?
Yeah, I don't know if from the ones that I kind of saw that were bad, they mentioned a lot of the technical things like editing, um, the cliches of martial arts films and things like that, which I I like cliche. They're cliches for a reason, and they'll work until they don't work anymore. But so it's the ones that I've seen has mainly been on the technical aspects of movies, and I don't. And maybe they just didn't see it with the kid brain. Like I don't know. Like sometimes you got to know when to turn your a kid brain on, and when not to. So I don't know. If that's why I said it's such a huge shock to me that it's that big of a difference, that wide of a when we have different reasons why we watch movies, and we have sometimes it's for nostalgia, sometimes it's for hey, I want to watch Tarkovsky's or Kurosawa's technical masterpieces and or uh Kubrick or whatever. But sometimes we just want to watch a movie in a genre that is going to feel good. And me watching horror movie, like old horror movies or old martial or any kind of martial arts movies like this, that for me, you kind of already get a leg up probably. So like you're going to have to screw up your movie for me to not like your movie. I'm not going to go in. It's just, and sometimes with critics, they go in watching every movie with the same brain. Yes, there are problems with this movie, but there's so many things about film. It's like that, and why we like film so much is just even things that when you find things that are technically that was some bad acting or bad line delivery, things like that. You find there's just Nosferatu had some problems with it last year that people, and I saw people saying, yeah, this is bad about it, but I still loved it. And I like hearing that. I like when people say that, but critics are kind of like, they can't really say that. Like if it's bad, they have to show this is bad.
Yeah, I mean, you have to kind of meet. I mean, you have to meet a movie where it is, and if you're approaching it from a critical sense, in that you're required to critique it for a publication, or even within the confines of that, like you have to apply like an applicable score to it. Right. Not every movie comes with like the same answer key, if that makes sense. Like
that makes total sense.
You can't you can't compare this to a movie like Nosferatu. I'll just use that as an example, right? And be like, well, the lighting and the cinematography in Nosferatu is so much better than this. It's like, they're trying to achieve different things.
Exactly. So I think Minecraft is probably a good current movie. Like the kids are going ape crap over that movie, but grown-ups are saying it's terrible, but I love that my kid is enjoying it. So what kind of, as a critic, what do you do? How do you, I think it's just, I love that about movies. I think most people do.
Pencil to a capoeira fight. So, so yeah, we'll get to Critics Corner in a little bit, and we'll go right to the mouth of madness and see what they have to say about it. But since we didn't do like proper trivia, because I couldn't really like stitch anything together, I think we're just gonna go straight to the bonus wheel. And I don't know how many spins I want to give it. We'll say minimum 3, and then depending on the questions that pop off, we'll go from there. We'll just stretch our legs a little bit with this and see. Hopefully the good ones come up. Okay, this is a good one. So if you could swap out one actor from this movie, which actor would you choose to swap out, and why?
I mean, like erase from the film or swap with another actor?
Yeah, if you could like input another actor into a role in the film.
That's a good.
Yeah, this is a tough one for this, because while the acting performances are maybe not all stellar, I don't feel like any of them are bad either.
I would go with, even again, he's not bad and he doesn't have that many scenes, but the principal. I said his name while we were watching. Todd Sussman.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah,
from Coneheads and Beverly Hills Cop 2. He's good in everything, but a crazy. So who would I swap him with though? Like, I'd want a more like animated principal. He's man, who could it be? And I'll just say easy answer, just Michael Shannon, being crazy Michael Shannon with the evil eye that he has as a principal. I want to see Michael Shannon in charge of kids in a movie. Has there been one? Has he done that?
I mean, he's been a dad, but not like I don't think he's been like a school official.
There was one he's in with. There's basketball in it. I don't think he's the coach though.
Oh,
I don't know what the name of that movie is, but like him, and it could be a comedy of him just being in charge of kids. But he's, you know how when he does interviews and stuff, you can tell he doesn't want to be there. He has short answers, and so he's got to play himself. And like just these kids are just running wild.
Yeah,
Daddy Daycare with Michael Shannon.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, let's go to another question. I already filtered out a couple of ones that I didn't really think were gonna fit here, so I gave you a better one. Which minor character in this movie deserves a spinoff, and what would that spinoff be about?
Okay. It'd be Donovan, but he'd make it out. Spoiler alert, he dies in this movie, and it's sad. It'd be Donovan. And
he's trying to rescue, he's helping the other kids after the gang members come, and
he saves Kerrigan. He saves the teacher from the burning fire in his classroom, and it's awesome. It'd be him, and it'd be, this music genius, like Moby style kind of character. DJ, there you go. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that's a whole. We didn't mention that the sadness of that. And there was a question I had that I wanted to ask about the ending for you when we're done with this.
Okay. Well, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing like Donovan taking that mixtape back to his studio, I guess, and just like, oh yeah, by the way, like this is what I do, and then
and then some of the things he's saying about that tape does not make sense.
Yeah, whoever wrote it is like, we're just throwing terms in here because no one's going to ask questions. Nobody watching this movie is going to have the technical wherewithal to actually sift through this. Yeah. So we're going to hit you with some technical jargon really fast, and we're going to just dump a lot on you, and don't ask questions.
Yes. Yep.
It's going to be Donovan's mix, and we're good. Okay, so this is a fun one. If you could insert a surprise musical number into this film, what scene would you choose for that musical number?
Okay, it'd be the scene where it gets really weird when they're doing the stretching stuff that we talked about. They got cut. It looks like they're about to do the deed.
Yeah.
And what's a good sleazy song to put over that? Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe something from like Dirty Dancing or
that. Yeah, that or I was thinking take my breath away on that.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Because that scene is kind of awkward. It's like, but is she dating that other teacher? And
she was.
They knew each other from high school. Yeah. And he moves fast, man. He moves in on her fast. So it's a little. I was like, it was kind of an awkward scene. Like, is this happening right now? Are they?
Come to my abandoned apartment building and watch me do handstands. Right. Yeah. So in the version that I saw that was on YouTube, like that moment where she does the back bridge, he says something and then it cuts, but you clearly see in the trailer that he also he does maybe like a handstand on top of her.
That's okay. That's in the one
bridges the other direction. Yeah. And then it's like the first version, like the famous upside down Spider-Man kiss.
Yeah.
They have the close up of them upside down kissing. And so I don't know why that was edited out. Like whoever put it was like taken from FXM, which I think is like Fox Movie Channel. So that's where like the rip came from, and maybe they cut it out for time.
Must have, yeah.
It's like, look, I know what's happening here. All right.
I'm
You
a
don't
big
go to
one.
some dude's apartment and start doing handstands if there's
Some
nothing
dude's
happening
firehouse.
between the two of you, right? Hey, you want to come back to my firehouse and work out? Yeah, sure. Sounds
See my
good.
hose.
Okay, let's see. We got we'll get one more good question. I think I eliminated some of the weakest contenders for this movie. Okay, this is a good one. Okay, so let's see. If you could ask one character from the film a question, who would it be and what is that question?
That's a tough one. Oh, Sylvia, where did you get that vest, man? I want it. I want that, dude. It's so cool. And it's not just a vest, it's how you wear it too. And he wears it with nothing else on under.
You gotta go sleeveless under that. I think you need to like have a really good tan and long hair, and you need to coordinate an all black outfit with the boots too to pull it
and
off.
have a heavy foreign accent.
Yeah.
Like, he was awesome as a villain, man.
My question would also be for him, but I would want to know like the logistics of running a chop shop, because like I kind of know the details, right? Like you steal cars, you work on them. I guess you like put money inside them. Like I want to know the details of his operation would be my biggest question. Be like, okay, I get that you're like a gangster and a bad guy and stuff, but like, what do you actually do?
That's awesome.
Okay, well, I think we had a couple good ones off the wheel, so I'm gonna go to more or less, and pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Just tell me one thing that you want more of in the movie and one thing that you want less of in the movie.
I want more. I would like more of what the. Because there's a scene with the gang, and is it two gangs? Is it like the Jamaican gang, the Hispanic gang, or are they one?
I think it is two gangs, but like maybe the Jamaican gang works under the Silverio's gang.
I think you might be right,
because they're there in the circle at the end, and he sort of makes reference to the kid. He's like, "Oh, I know your uncle and his gang." So maybe Silverio being like he's the boss of the area, and the Jamaicans work under him.
Yeah, but it seems like they have these bonfire parties or something, man, and they write symbols in the ground and light them on fire.
Yeah, gunpowder in the sand and just burn it up.
I want to see more of what goes on the why are they satanic or something? Like what is happening in that scene, and what else goes on at these parties? Or do they have like crazy sex parties? Like what's going on here? Yeah. So I want more scenes of that.
Okay.
I would like less that's I don't know, but I don't know, less of the doubling down on, like you said, like these kids are bad, this school is real bad, like less of trying to be so bad that they're cool kind of stuff going on at the beginning. Every time they show something in the school. What's one of the kids that ends up in his class, like the day that he goes, that the main character comes to the school, and he's in the bathroom washing his face at the sink, and the kid tries to buy drugs from him. These kids are bad, man. They'll ask a grown up in the bathroom to buy drugs if they have any drugs to sell.
And it's like, look, I get what you're trying to do here, but let's think this through. If this kid really is so into drugs that he just buys drugs at the school, he's gonna know that Stephens is a narc. He's gonna take one look at him and smell the military on him and be like, this guy's not having drugs. And then that same guy shows up later, and he's got like the cutoff sheer white vest when they show up on the first day. And then he's the one who gets into the fight with Steven's first student. And they hash it out, and that's where everybody really buys in, because they can see that evening of training has really paid off. lands the spinning back kick to the stomach. But I was like, why is everybody cheering for Eddie? Eddie's a total D-bag. I was like, even amongst these kids, they should all know.
Because they're the baddest kids, man.
They're so bad that they got to cheer for the bad guy.
They're bad.
Okay. Well, that actually makes sense in the context of what this movie is doing. So I think I'll allow it in this case.
Nice.
Okay. Well, let's go to Critics Corner and we'll hear, speaking of bad kids, let's hear from the bad kids at school when it comes to this movie. I know you mentioned Ebert and I saw him on here, so I'm going to go to him first because he gave it a 1 out of 4 and said that I have a sinking feeling that the makers of this film feel it is in some way exemplary and even useful. So I think that's his nice way of saying that the movie is very average and not useful. Ebes, come on, man.
Even as a kid, I was like, what is this guy talking about? I was like, he talks a lot about a lot of kids movies like that. He tore apart one of the Ninja Turtle movies, and it was like one of his biggest complaints was that there was Pepsi in it, like the logo of Pepsi and Pizza Hut. I'm like, I don't care. Even as a kid, I was like, this guy's immoral. Like, what is he talking about? Like, I don't care. They're Ninja Turtles and dudes in costumes playing turtles. They are mutants. Yeah. What's the problem here? I get, he's a professional critic and he's thinking it in big movie terms, so I get it. But from early age on, I was like, I just never really cared for critics.
I bet he really didn't like it when Vanilla Ice showed up.
Oh, that's a good point. I loved it as a kid. Go Ninja.
Go Ninja, go Ninja, go. Man, I want to do all those movies on the show at some point. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah, they are. And I know Michelle likes those movies a lot.
And speaking of like martial arts movies that are clearly aimed at kids and not sort of bridging the gap between the action movies that came before it, like it's very specifically aimed at a more useful thing without being like, it has good action, but the action never gets so serious that it's like, oh, like there's drug dealing going on here, like oh, someone died, what? Yeah, not quite there. Okay, so let's go up the ladder. This is Gary Thompson from the Philadelphia Daily News. Says solved, the problem of impoverished, understaffed, crime-ridden, drug-infested inner-city schools. The solution, bongo music and a new Brazilian brand of martial arts that transforms incorrigible students into zealous anti-crime mercenaries. Wow.
I don't know. It wasn't that deep, man.
Yeah.
You're basically saying what the movie is about. Like, it's not wrong, but it's kind of like by the end, they're not these crazy great fighters, and they don't the ending is not even them fighting. They're just watching him fight and cheering him on. The thing they do is stop those two guys from pulling guns out. That's about it. So it's, if the movie would have went to, and by the end of the movie there are these amazing ninja or capoeira fighters, then that would be a little. That's kind of how he makes it seem.
Yeah, they're not mercenaries. They're not like they don't just all come cartwheeling into the final scene and show up as backup, which I mean, whatever. If that happened, I'd be like, I get it. That's not the case. I think the point is that like you take these kids that everybody assumes are bad, but for the most part, the kids are misunderstood, right? Even the worst one amongst them has his redemption arc. So the kids really just have not had someone that cares enough about them to figure out why they're misbehaving. And then once they have that, it gives them sort of like the courage to reclaim themselves as, we'll say, good guys in the context of what this movie presents. And so they stand up to the villain at the end rather than just sort of be passive and cool about it. They actually take an active role in disarming those two guys with the guns at the end. So I think that's really what the movie is about, sort of what you get from yourself when you're willing to commit to doing something like this that's outside of your comfort zone. And like, you know, they got friends out of it as well.
Yeah, that's a really good line in the film. It was half of it was in the trailer where Dacascos was talking to Orlando, the character Orlando, and he says the world can be as big as you want it or as small as your tiny little hood. Like that's a good line. Whichever writer in the script wrote that line, that's a really good line. It actually is it's a big boy line, I think, like for a movie that's for kids, but it fits in the movie, and as it's a line delivered where as a kid I knew what he was saying. I think the movie does a good job of knowing what it is too.
Oh yeah, this movie doesn't pretend to be, I think, too heady and ambitious. Like I think the critics that have really honed in on the movie having a message are, I think they're projecting a little bit in the sense that they think the movie really believes that it like has the power to be as effective as the characters in the movie perceive it. And it's not. It's just a story. It's just like a parable to show the moral of the story, right? It's not meant to be taken literally, right? It's not like if it were to be taken literally, then you know we would have seen all these programs popping up all over the place, and that would have been invested in. But that's not the case. So I think some of these critics just they were unwilling to meet this where it started at, and when you're starting at a deficit, like it's kind of always hard to get that back at the movies. Let's see. So we did 2. Let's go to James Berardinelli because he pops up all the time. So I've yet to meet the movie. I can't. I'll say I can't remember the last movie that I saw a review of his where he actually liked the movie. So he also gave it 1 out of 4 stars. He said, I expected it to be an obligatory late summer, mindless, plotless action film. I was wrong. It's a late summer, mindless, plotless action film with a message. I think I prefer this sort of film when it doesn't try to preach. So exactly what I was saying with like the projecting of, oh, you're putting something onto this movie that maybe it's not even trying to do.
They're confusing a film that it has heart with a film that, you know, saying that it's trying to spread a message. It's not. It just has a heart. Like it's a drama. There's drama in it. Like that's all it is. It's not trying to change your life, man.
Yeah. I mean,
just
like
trying to entertain.
Because like even you and I, who were sort of like the target demographic for this, we saw it young. Like, did this change our lives? Like, no, like we just liked watching this guy throw spin kicks. Like, get over yourselves, fellas. Like, get in, start banging on the bongo, loosen up, wear something baggy, and show up to capoeira class in the morning.
I wanted that instrument, whatever it was, the pole with the string on it.
Oh yeah, right. It's got like a little.
They could have marketed that, man. Because remember how crazy marketing was for Karate Kid with the little spinning drum in your hand? What was that called?
I don't know. That was the one from Karate Kid 2, right?
I don't remember which one, but I had one and I drove my parents crazy with that thing. Just like I just put it in between my hands, just like spin it real fast. My sister hated it too.
Yeah. They learned. They were like, let's not make this mistake again. We've got a whole generation of angry parents out there still fuming from Karate Kid 2. Okay, let's see. We got 2 good ones left on the board. One is a 6 out of 10. So that's a 3 out of 5, and then we got a 4 out of 5. So okay, those are the 2 best. This is Mike Massey with Gone with the Twins. Says it wraps up neatly with a touch of silliness, but ultimately, as an action-packed demonstration of capoeira, the film is wholly proficient. You nailed it, sir.
Yeah, there you go.
It is essentially a 90-minute commercial for capoeira, and that's what you have to understand about this movie. It's fine. If you like martial arts, it's great, but I mean, if that's not your cup of tea, you probably don't want to watch a 90-minute infomercial on the value of capoeira. Okay. Fair enough, Massey, but I appreciate that. And then we've got Justin Brown from Medium Popcorn. You can tell these are like really the heavy hitting publications
Yeah.
out there. It says Mark Dacascos did the work in this. Capoeira is not easy, and I think the movie did a good job representing this fighting style. I greatly enjoyed this movie. There you go.
Hey. Yeah.
Yeah, he just recognized that the shit is hard.
Yeah.
And the movie does a good job, I think, of presenting how difficult it is, but also how good it looks when it is done well.
Exactly. Good. That's a good one. And like those two are pretty much to the point of, you know, what the movie is. They're not seeing it for something that it's not trying to be, not projecting their own whatever on the film. It's like they watched the film and took it as it is. Like, okay, sure, I had fun with it.
Yeah, that's all you can really ask for from this kind of movie.
Yeah.
But speaking of this kind of movie, what's a good gateway drug movie for only the strong?
For me, I would say any of the movies that we started talking about of kids, so any of those sports movies where the bad kids overcome obstacles and win, you know, the Mighty Ducks and the Bad News Bears, the you know, films like that where kids just overcome being cast-outs or castaways to achieve something together or something good. So any of those movies, I think.
Yeah, like as much as I want to say it's 187, like that's definitely not the answer. Like, that movie is too heavy.
A little heavy, yeah.
I think Dangerous Minds is even like a little bit more self-serious than this movie is, because it doesn't have the music and it doesn't have like the flowy energy, like it doesn't have the physicality of this movie. And I think Three Ninjas is maybe kind of too dumb for what this movie is. Yeah. But I think Three Ninjas at least understands that it's not trying to be serious, which is good. And I hadn't thought of it beforehand, but the Ninja Turtles Rex were also, I think, really good entry points for that. Yeah, maybe not the Karate Kid, but maybe the next Karate Kid with Hilary Swank would be like kind of the right tonal vibe for this movie.
Could see that. Yeah. I saw that movie a couple times as a kid, and I still to this day don't know what I thought about it. I watched it more than once, so I must have liked it.
Time to watch it again.
I guess so.
No time like the present.
Well, like it's like Michelle hasn't seen the Karate Kid movies, so it's about time to. And I'd forgotten right before the holidays. I was looking at the 4K set of Karate Kid. I should have picked them up, but I didn't. Probably time to do that.
Well, there's the original 3, and then there's Next Karate Kid. Then it was the Jackie Chan Karate Kid.
Yeah.
And now it's Karate Kid Legends.
Oh, there's another one coming out?
Yeah, it's gonna. Well, Ralph Macchio's coming back, and it's him and Jackie Chan.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you're fishing for some nostalgia, and probably works. So you're taking like the spin-off and the original and just melding them together. So I'll be curious. I'm gonna see it, of course.
I never saw the first one with Jackie Chan in it. I, of course, saw the originals, and I saw the next Karate Kid. And I haven't seen the show, the Cobra Kai show or anything. I heard it's really good though. Yeah,
people seem to like it. So I think there's a lot of good alternatives out there if you enjoy this movie. So that's good. Cool. Well, I don't really have like any other questions for you at this point, but I know that you released a previously unreleased episode of You, Me, and a Movie that had sort of been in the vault for a while. And that was Nashville with Scott, right?
Scott, yeah. Oh yeah, great. Yeah. And it was, I had that one, and there's another one that I got to finish editing, which is one of the main reasons why I stopped podcasting was editing. That's the least enjoyable things about podcasting for me. Everyone's got their thing. But it really finishing the editing on that really brought back like how much fun it was to do those shows and talk to knowledgeable people that are knowledgeable about the films that they brought me. I mean, just hearing Scott talk about Nashville, and it was my first time watching Nashville. It wasn't my first of his film. I'm blanking on the director's name now.
Is that Altman? No.
Altman, yeah.
Altman. It is. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't my first Altman because someone brought me an Altman on one of the first episodes I did of that podcast, but it was my second Altman, and it makes you fall in love with movies all over again. Just going back through that editing, and I have one more that I had left over that I think a lot of people will really like when I finished editing that one. It was another fabulous discussion in that. But I don't know if you checked it out or not, but it was a good discussion.
I started it because it's in my rotation, but my commute is not very long, so I got through like the first 5 minutes as it began to play after something else. So I'll get back to it once I'm back in the car when I go to the gym. So
yep, that's that time to listen to them.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm glad to hear that at least you're gonna go back and release the stuff from the vault. And then I know that we had talked about you coming back and doing Wolfman. We'll still get that scheduled because I want to. I think it'll be the first movie from 2025 that I get to talk about. So that'll be a nice muscle to flex, and it's a lot less structured than this. So shorter, looser flowing, way less editing.
There you go.
So all of that combined makes for a nice little like side project. So
cool.
Thank you for being on the show. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and I'm glad that
likewise.
We get to do it with some of this sort of like dorky action stuff from the late 80s and early 90s.
Oh yeah, no, thanks for asking me to do it again anytime. It's been a blast every time I've done it. Now we've done 4. Roadhouse and
Event Horizon,
and My Boyfriend's Back, and also every time it was a blast. The movies, it's bad movies we love, and I've loved going back and revisiting these movies.
Yeah,
but more importantly, it's just fun to talk about them too, like with people who share the same. We got to find a movie that one of us hates the other one.
Yeah, I mean, we can. It's always a challenge. Well, the good thing about Bad Movie Futures is that when I sort of like put out the call for people, I'm like, you don't even have to like the movie. I just want to talk about something that is like modern, because most of what we talk about on the show is at least like 20 to 30 years old. So getting to talk about something that's getting made now that is maybe a little bit more in the public eye, I think is just a little bit different muscle to flex. And I don't have to be like, oh, I'm here to like defend a movie that people say is bad. It's like, no, we're just here to have a conversation about like, how do you feel about this movie that just came out?
Do you have other films already lined up? I don't know if you don't want to give it away.
Well, the ones that I had that were scheduled were Craven the Hunter, which came to Netflix recently, so it's a better time to do it. Megalopolis was another one. Azrael was another one.
Oh, the one with Samara Weaving in it?
Yes, correct.
Dude, I enjoyed that movie.
Yeah, me too. I enjoyed it a lot, and
it's not rated very well, or
no, it qualified. When I ran the numbers, I was like, oh, it's technically like if it's in this, you bold it in red, and I'm like, oh, look, the calculator says it's red, so I agree. I think it's good. So that one was on there, and then the ones from this year would be like Flight Risk, the Mark Wahlberg one. Trying to think, there's another one that was not great either that I thought would be fun to talk about, but it escapes me at this moment. So I've only got like the handful of them. Werewolves was another one that was scheduled from last year.
Last year. Okay. Yeah. That was fun.
Yeah, I liked it. I was like, I swear to God, if Frank Grillo does not wolf out by the end of this movie, I will be disappointed. And I was like, there he goes.
There he goes. Yeah. Yep.
So I got what I wanted, but I think I would, if I had to like choose, the story of like what happened before the events of that movie is kind of probably the movie that I actually want to watch.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
When like the supermoon transforms like half the population of the planet into werewolves. I'm like, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
You need a lot bigger budget.
straight late 90s sci-fi style kind of movie. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, so hopefully it happens. But yeah, we'll get that on the books, and then the door is always open. I know I've got June is slated, and then there's one other month that I know for sure is probably September. I think I'll do Nickvember for Cage in November, and then the rest of it's kind of loosey goosey. So if you have any ideas, you just send them my way, and I'll put them on the notepad with all the others. And when I have an opening to squeeze you in, we'll do it.
That sounds good to me. We'll keep my ears to the ground for cool things to surround a month with kinds of films. It's always fun to do. I'm going back now and rewatching like I just did the Texas Chainsaw movies. It was a blast.
Right, yeah.
That was so much fun.
Yeah, we had talked about what the third one or the sequel. Which is the one with McConaughey and Zellweger?
The Next Generation.
Next Gen, that's right.
I love that movie. I don't. Yeah. That's perfect for your show.
Yeah, I'll write it down right now.
Yeah, and now I'm going back and watching those found footage horror movies, the Hell House movies, the Hell House LLC movies. There's like a fifth one coming out, so I'm going back through those. And then I think next I'm gonna do the Final Destination movies because I only ever saw the first 3, I think, or maybe I know I saw the first 2. The third one I think I may just have seen the scenes, which a lot of people do with Final Destination. So I'm going back, and then there's that new one coming out, so I figured to go back and watch those. So I'm just kind of doing little things like that.
Cool. All right. Well, sounds like you got your work cut out for you franchise wise, but it's probably smart. I'm like, I never do that. I'm like, let me watch all the movies in this franchise. I'm like, that seems like a lot of work. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I would definitely not do it with anything else but short horror movies like these, and like especially these Hell House ones they're hour and 20 minutes, hour 30 minutes.
Perfect.
So it's they're a breeze to get through. So
perfect. All right. Well, if I can find a convenient spot to drop in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I mean, maybe.
When's the last time you seen that movie?
Next Generation had been a long time, been at least like 10, 12 years.
It's better the last, and because I bought the what is it, the what's that brand name? What are they? Oh, Scream Factory. I brought the Scream Factory release of it. Man, just look at that cover, dude. It's so good. And the tagline, if looks could kill, he wouldn't need a chainsaw. It's just straight 90s. And man, McConaughey just go, God, I love that movie.
Is that the third one or the fourth?
No,
one?
It's the fourth.
Okay.
Because there's 1, 2, then Leatherface.
Gotcha.
And then there's 2 called Leatherface that can confuse you. But the third one is Leatherface, and then that's the fourth one, and then the whole reboot kind of ones.
Okay. Well, bring all that Texas Chainsaw Massacre knowledge to the next time when we talk about
would love to.
Next Gen. Because I was just like, I think it fits like in summer. I know like people are sweaty in that movie, so I'm like, whatever.
Dude,
it's hot in Texas, so like, whatever. Yeah. I think it works.
It's also set around prom night, if that helps.
See, prom is in the spring, right?
It's like May, isn't it? Usually.
So like, end of spring, early summer.
I haven't been in high school in a long time.
Right? End of the school year is kind of around when prom is. All right. Well, I think it works. Maybe July.
Okay.
Cool. All right, bud. Well, this was fun, man. We'll do it again soon.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for having me, man. It's been a blast.
Of course. I'll catch you next time.
Thanks to Donnie for coming back on the show and for doing some cartwheels on the beach with me. It has been nice to have him on the show a little bit more regularly, and if you haven't done so already, I would encourage you to check out his podcast, You, Me, and a Movie. He's got some stuff in the vault that hopefully will be coming out soon. And I'll make sure that I have the links for that up in the show notes for you. Up next on the show, we close out Kung Foolery Month with perhaps the most foolish of all the Kung Fu movies. That's right, it's Kung Pao, Enter the Fist. So thank you for entertaining me on this journey. And of course, thank you to everyone who took the time to listen to the episode. I know there's a seemingly infinite number of options when it comes to podcasts, and I appreciate you letting me into your ear holes and hopefully into your hearts. In all seriousness, though, time is valuable, and I am very grateful that you've entrusted me with yours. If you enjoy the show, please consider leaving a review or at least a rating and telling a friend about it. If you don't enjoy it, then maybe let's keep that between us. As I mentioned in the open, the new members-only section is in fact live at badmovieswelove.captivate.fm/support, where you're going to get access to a bunch of goodies for only $5 a month. And I would absolutely love to hear from you, so if you have a bad movie you love and would like to be a guest on the show, you can contact me at badmovieswelove@theshice.com or badmovieswelove spelled LUV on Twitter and Instagram. And until next time, take care, be well, stay safe, and have fun however you get your movies. I know you're out there somewhere, Rids. I love you.